So we went to this period of everything being stretched out and not knowing what was going to happen, to then suddenly everything being thrown to try and solve the problem. Markets got their confidence back. We've had in and out through that period as the different waves of the pandemic have come and gone. And then we were back into, as we came into the autumn this year, a period of where it really felt that actually we were through the worst of the economic impact, and what we were dealing with was the second order consequences: tightness in labour market, tightness in the global supply chain, inflation coming back. Now we've gone back into that period once again where we're going to have to figure out what is the adaptation that we need to do it. And so when you look in that overall cycle of things, I don't think we're any differently placed today than we were a few months ago. And as we wait and we get further information and we figure out the vaccine efficacy, some of this short-term volatility will gradually tease itself out. Right. But I'm very much with Sean on the adaptation. I'm sorry,
Can I disagree with you on where we are at this point? Because it felt as though a couple of months ago, we had resumed the visibility around earnings. A lot of companies had the ability to start forecasting. They could see down the line around coming quarters. At this point, the assumptions we have on the table around earnings could amount to nothing. If we go back to some sort of extreme restrictions, then we may not have the same visibility. What do you make of those concerns?
Well, I think even before the latest variant came through, we definitely were seeing some evidence that earnings growth was slowing. So yes, there was a bit more visibility for some sectors. Actually, they've had reasonable visibility and indeed excessive growth, you could argue, through the pandemic as behaviour has changed, and we've been normalising against that. And it's true that there is a bit less visibility. If you're in the tourist or you're in the airline sector right now, of course, there's a little bit lack of visibility. But so just as some other sectors performed pretty well through the pandemic, through the lockdown periods, and have suffered a little bit since, I suspect you'll see that again. So it may well be that leadership within the market changes. But I think one of the things that was really playing out as we went into this particular little period of turbulence that we've got here is that higher inflation, slowing earnings growth momentum was beginning to give people some cause for concern. I think what we've seen over the last few days has meant that monetary policy tightening is likely to be pushed out a little bit further. So in a way, I think that concern is possibly a little bit less, a little bit more diminished versus where we were before. So I think we're still in a mid-cycle from an earnings point of view. I think, yes, this will affect visibility to some degree, but I think companies have got pretty good at adapting to this, and they will continue, to find their way through.